Hi everybody, it's me Laszlo, and I'm going to demonstrate the Quill FBX sequencer that I wrote for Godot. And I'm going to use this little robot animation that I really like to demonstrate. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's just basically him taking off, blasting off into the sky. And it's really cartoony animation. I mean, look at that smear frame. You know, you don't notice it when it's zooming past, but it really gives the illusion that he's covering that amount of distance in that short of a period of time. I just think it looks really cool. So I'm going to show you how to export this from Quill, and then we'll go into Godot, and I'll show you how to use the sequencer that I wrote. To start with, we don't need the floor. So let me see. I got a folder. Yeah, we don't need any of this from Robot 1. So I'm just going to take Robot 1 and trash it. Oh, I can't delete the spawn area. So let's move the spawn area out of Robot 1. Now I can trash Robot 1. Basically, everything everything that's on this layer, the robot layer, is going to be exported as a sequence of models. Each frame is going to be its own 3D model, and then we're going to bring it into Godot, and the sequencer is going to create an animation that only displays each frame when it's supposed to. So it's helpful to get everything that you want animated on one layer and put that layer in the root, not in its own folder when you export. You'll see once we get into Godot. And the main rule, the only rule really, hard and fast rule, is don't put any numbers in the layer name. If you need to use numbers, use Roman numerals or use letters instead. Attack A, attack B, attack C, instead of attack 1, 2, 3. And you'll see why once we get into Godot. So we'll go to export, and we want to go to export 3D file, and we're going to change it to an FBX, export animations, and we shouldn't need to worry about anything else. Nope, just export animations and FBX. And that should be fine. You can change the directory up here where you want to go, where you want to put it, but we're just going to leave it in Quill/robot, and we'll leave the file name robot. But if you need to change it, either of those, that's where you do it. And we'll hit export, document exported. And now because I made changes to this and I want to keep the original, but I also want this in case I need to change anything that didn't work right for the export. So I'm going to resave it as robot underscore exp for export. Done. Saved. And now we can quit out of Quill and start up Godot. Okay, so I'm in Godot, and I just created a basic blank project, and I put it on my desktop. I'm assuming that you'll probably have a project you want to bring something into, or if you're coming from Quill and you're an absolute beginner and don't have any experience with Godot, I will have a video specifically for you later on in the week. So I'll show you how to set everything up, and create a 3D origin, a VR origin, so that you'll be able to move around in virtual reality and interact with stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. So just, stay tuned for that. You might want to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I post a new video. But if you have experience with Godot, you have a project open, and we are going to right now I don't have it on the, let me go back, I don't have it on the asset library yet, but when it's on the asset library, then I'll amend the video so that we go over how to install it from the asset library. That'll be easier. For right now, it's just on my GitHub, and I will put the link down in the description. So once you follow that link, you go to code and download zip, and I've already downloaded it to my desktop, and then I unzipped it, but that's what you'll want to do. And so once you have it downloaded and unzipped into a folder, then you can go back into Godot, and right here where it says res, you're going to right click and open it in File Manager. Now, we're going to just drag everything in and then close this down, and then it'll reload in Godot. So this is where I unzipped the zip file, and I'm just going to control click and drag the add-ons folder right over into res so that it copies, it doesn't move it. And then I have the folder where we saved the robot FBX, and I'm going to do the same thing. Control, drag, and then I can just close this and go into Godot, and it'll re-import those assets. And so now, since we have the add-ons folder with the Quill FBX converter folder, we can go to project settings, plugins, and I have it already enabled, but just click there to enable the Quill FBX converter and close. And now you see right next to file system, it's got this panel, Quill FBX converter, and a button that says sequence animation. So we'll go back to file system, and we're going to create a 3D scene, and we'll take the robot, and let me just make sure that because when you import an FBX, they import very small. So we want to take this root scale and set it to 100, and then re-import. And then we can drag this right onto the node 3D, and we're going to right click it and make local. And now you'll see we have baked mesh, and then the root. This is the root from the Quill file, and then our layer, the robot layer. Now each of the frame files is labeled robot _000, and so on until it gets to the end. This is why you can't put a number in the layer name, because the sequencer reads these names, and that's how it knows what frame to put the keyframes on. Excuse me. So it also brings in an animation player, but this animation player does nothing. So we're going to get rid of that and just delete it. And the rest is just simple. We're going to click on the layer, this one with the circle. It's a node 3D. These are all mesh instances. The frames are mesh instances. So we're going to click on the layer, the one that just has the name, and then go over to Quill FBX Sequencer and click Sequence Animation. What that's going to do is make a new animation player called Sequenced FBX, and when you click on that, and I'll click loop over here, and then click play, you see it's got the animation. If you want it to look exactly like it did in Quill, we're just going to select all of these, hold down Shift and select the first one, hold down Shift and select the last one, and then we'll go over here to Surface Material Override, and we'll go New Standard Material 3D, click on that, and albedo, no, vertex color we want to use as albedo, and then under shading, where it says per pixel, we're just going to go unshaded, and that's it. I'm gonna save that, and we'll just call it unshaded. And then I can close that. Nope, like that. So why there are two material slots is one material slot is for things that are solid, and the other one is for things that are flat, like his visor, or these some of these little puffs down at the bottom. They're ribbon brushes. So now I can just go over to quick load, and unshaded is already selected. Click open, and there we go. Now it looks exactly like it did in Quill. And that's it. That's the whole demonstration. Like I said, I will be making more videos. If you want to see more content about bringing stuff from Quill into Godot and what we can do with it, then make sure to like and subscribe and comment and tell me, if there's anything specific that you want to know about. Ask the question and I'll see if I can figure out what the answer is. I don't have any ways to support me right now, but I'm working on it. I'm going to put some stuff up on Gumroad. Some of it will be free with the option to make a donation. And if I'm going to charge anything, I'm only going to charge a few bucks. Like, probably the maximum I'm going to charge is like $20 for something. And that'll just be like, it'll be a lot for $20. But every little bit helps. I'm a little financially insecure at the moment, so if you can donate, I would really appreciate it. And I'll have probably a coffee and possibly a Patreon if there's enough interest in seeing, tutorials on specifically making stuff in Quill and bringing it into Godot. And also, I'd like to, discuss and work on ways that stuff could be monetized, aside from just making games with stuff from Godot. Just interactive animations, motion comics, choose your own adventure video stories, anything to help support animators. So if you're interested in that, again, leave me a comment and let me know. That's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed the video.